All right, Survival 101 MD, back here with another informative video. This time I'm dealing strictly with uh, self-defense and safety and being intelligent in regards to self-defense, right? So, um, I live out here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty familiar with the Pennsylvania knife laws and the knife laws specifically in the city of Philadelphia. All right, and you may know your knife laws where you live. And you may have a law that say you can have a certain thing a certain way. Understandable. But I want you to also be intelligent. Okay. When we're talking about dealing with being judged by a jury of your peers, which you may find yourself, you know, being judged like that. When it comes to self defense, okay, particularly with edge, items, you want to be intelligent, all right? The law may say you can have something like this. Okay, you may be lawful to have it, may be lawful. Okay, but you can't tell me if you're being judged by a jury of your peers that they may not hold it against you, even if you say you're defending yourself. If you use something like this, okay, chances are it might not go your way. Yeah, you may be legal within your legal rights to carry something like this, but to use this 5 or 6 times on somebody and then say self defense, your peers may not be so lenient with you. They may not be on your side. The question always be, why would you have something like this in the first place? Even though you can legally carry it. I know out here in Pennsylvania, you have to have some type of justification for carrying certain things. What's the purpose of me having this in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? That's what my peers will probably ask, all right? Now, from my training and my understanding, that's good. This can do the same thing. Okay, we're talking about self-defense now, okay? I use this to cut boxes many different times at work. Okay. Open letters many different times is a tool. My peers might be lenient on me if I had to use this for self defense. Okay. This is not this. Right. One may say, well, this is not enough. I think it is for self defense. I could be wrong. Again, if I'm using something like this and I use this 5 or 6 times on somebody for self defense, I don't know how a jury of my peers might take that. Okay. This is a short one, but even still, look how this is made. If I use something like this for self defense, I don't know if a jury of my peers will be lenient on me for using something like this. Because again, where I'm at, what's my justification for having something like this when I can use something like this? Get the job done with cutting boxes and things like that, opening letters. Okay. Does the same thing as all of these, if you understand. But this, it's not as intimidating as these things. And again, me going to work with this bright red box cutter, if I had to, for self-defense, use this a few times, I think the jury of my peers would be more understanding of something like this as opposed to these. Okay. If I use this, yeah, I'm I don't believe a jury of my peers will understand why I'm even walking around with something like this, even though I may be within my legal rights to do so. But what am I going to really, what's the justification for me having something like this? Cutting boxes. I'm talking about every day going to work back and forth. Yeah, legal rights. Legally, I can have it. Boy, what jury of my peers say. Okay. As opposed to this. And again, this is maybe 2.5 inches. Well, that's not enough. You sure? Inside your eyeball. Okay. Solar plex. The fatty muscle meat behind your shoulder blade. Collarbone. Kneecap. Okay. Anywhere near the private area. You sure these 2.5 inches is not enough? Are you sure? Again, talking about the jury of my peers. I cut boxes with this many different times at work. Okay? Many different times. Use this as a box cutter. I use this to cut cheese at work. I use this to cut the fruit when I make my tea. And I squeeze lemons and oranges inside of it. Okay? I think a jury of my peers will probably be on my side and more understandable if I had to, worst case scenario, defend myself with this. Okay? As opposed, again, to this. We already know what these can do. Might be legally acceptable for me to carry it. Might have the legal right to carry it, but for self-defense. Will the jury of my peers really be on my side? I'm leaving that up to happenstance. If I use something like this for self-defense and expect them to be on my side, as opposed to something like this. Again, use this to cut cheese, open boxes, cut fruit. Okay, this is about 2.5, 3 inches. More than enough. Okay, about the same length, about half a finger. Let me ask you a question. Are you taking half a finger poke in the eye and not be affected? Or half a finger rammed up your nose? Of course not. So I don't think you would want to take this that way either. All right. Again, we're talking self-defense now. Carry this to cut fruit, cheese, open boxes. Jury of my peers may understand this. I don't think they're going to understand this. Even if it's for self-defense, I'm being attacked. I'm minding my business. But from a legal standpoint, I don't want to leave that into the hands of nobody. All right. So again, I can use those, and I won't, it'll do what it need to do. Or I can just have these. Okay, again, use these everyday cut boxes, cheese, fruit. I think I'll take my chances with this as opposed to this. From a legal standpoint, and for all those people saying, well, these will definitely do the job, but these won't, I think you need to get a little bit more training, get more qualified people who can show you how these can definitely be as effective for self-defense as these. All right. Again, something to think about, something to ponder over. Y'all take care.